Hello everyone, welcome back to the session of English. In this session, we are going to continue with our chapter Connectors. Now, this is part number 22. So, we have already done 21 parts of connectors. So, let us discuss what we are going to discuss in this session. Well, in this lecture, we will cover the following topics. In fact, we are going to discuss some connectors. So, these are suppose or supposing that, in case, and another connector is so long as, which means on the condition that. So all these are conditional connectors that we are going to discuss in this session, as we started earlier the conditional connectors. Okay, so as you can see over here, it is written suppose or supposing that. Well, these two can be the connectors, but the main connector is suppose. Supposing that is used informally, but formally we can also use it. How? That we will discuss later on while discussing it. Okay, so let's begin this session. Now, first of all, we'll discuss connectors suppose or supposing that. So these two connectors we are going to discuss right now. Now, first of all, let us discuss the meaning of suppose or supposing that. Well, the main connector is suppose. Okay. Suppose and supposing that are used to introduce hypothetical situations. Hypothetical means which are imaginary. Okay, which are full of imaginations, wishes. Okay, so which are imagery or imagination based. Okay, imagination based. So hypothetical means imagination. Okay, something which you can only imagine, or you can say which you are imagining for the future, or which you just imagining, but it is not actual that is going on. Maybe possible it will happen, but right now it is just an imagination. So that is known as hypothetical situation. They play a critical role. It means a vital role in constructing conditional sentences. Now, this connector, that is suppose, it plays a vital role in making a conditional sentence. It means a condition on which something depends. Okay, or some action depends, which discuss potential outcomes. Okay, for example, as I told you in the conditional sentences as well, introduced by if clause. So what if clause contains a condition on which the task which is going to happen depends on. Okay, it means the task that will only happen on the basis of something happen. Now which discuss potential outcomes. It means it can happen or it may happen, or scenarios that depend on certain conditions being met. Okay, so these potential outcomes or these tasks, they only depend on several conditions. So the condition that is stated by if clause or suppose clause, that makes a condition. So these words like if, suppose, whatever we write in immediate after clause of it, or this is immediate after clause, and whatever we write over here, it contains a condition on which the task which is written in the main clause depends on. Okay, so both suppose and supposing that are commonly used in the first conditional real possibility and second conditional less likely or hypothetical possibility sentences. Okay, so these conditional words like suppose and supposing that, they are commonly used in first conditional. It means real possibility. Okay, as I told you that there are several conditions, there are several types of conditions that occur. There can be zero type of condition, there can be type 1 condition, type 2 condition, and type 3 condition. So first conditional, that means real possibility, or it means that can happen, or if it is less likely or hypothetical possibility, in that case we always use past plural form. Now let me tell you what is real possibility or what can be hypothetical possibility. Now there are two situations. Suppose we begin our sentence with if. Okay, so here we have a if clause, or this is the main clause and this is the if clause. Okay, now there are two types of conditions. First of all, one is the real condition, or another is hypothetical. Real condition is a condition that can happen in the real world, but hypothetical condition is such a condition which cannot happen, which is impossible to happen. It is just an imagination, or purely an imagination. For example, if I say, if I am a teacher, or if I am a student, it means that can happen. Okay, I am a person, I'm a human being, I can be a student, I can be a teacher. Okay, and in fact I'm a teacher. But if I say if I'm a student, okay, if I'm a uh, officer, if I'm an officer, that can happen on some basis. For example, if I prepare for the examination, I can be an officer. But if I say if I were a bird, if I were suppose any person who has died, if Mahatma Gandhi were here, now it cannot happen because that is impossible, that is next to impossible, because obviously he is not alive right now. Okay, so that is hypothetical, it means that cannot happen, that is totally an imagination. So there are two types of condition. If I say if I am a teacher, okay, or if I was a teacher, suppose the sentence is in past, so I can write if I was a student. Okay, if I was a student, so this is a real condition because this can happen, I can be a student as well. Okay, if I was a student, I would have sorry, I would attend Sathi classes. Okay, I would attend Sathi, it is Sathi classes. Okay, so this is one sentence, that if I was a student, I would attend Sathi classes. Okay, but something which is totally imagery. For example, if I say if I were your father, if I were a bird. Okay, if I were a bird, now obviously I'm a human being, I can't be a bird, there is no such magic that can make me a bird. Okay, so if I say if I were a bird, so this is totally imagination, this is hypothetical condition. Why? So because this cannot happen, this is totally impossible. Okay, hypothetical. Now something, if one wants to be that person who has already died, or if someone wants to be that person that he cannot be in any manner. For example, if I say if I were a father, no, I can't be a father, of course. I can be a mother, I can, because being a girl I cannot be a father. Okay, so if I were a bird, that is hypothetical. If I say if I were your father, it means I'm in that place of your father. Okay, so that is totally hypothetical, that cannot happen. That is why I'm using past plural form of verb over here. Okay, I'm using past plural form of verb over here because this is impossible condition. So this is past plural form of verb, but here I have used only past form but not plural. Okay, why? So because this can happen, this is real condition, this is called a real condition. But this one, when I say that if I were a bird, that is totally imagination or hypothetical, that is less likely to happen, or you can say impossible condition at all. So there are two types of condition, one is real condition and another is hypothetical condition. So if I make a real conditional sentence, I can write if I was a student, but if I make hypothetical condition or the impossible condition, there I can write there I should write in fact past plural form of verb, that is if I were a bird, if he were a bird, if she were a bird, like that. Okay, if Mahatma Gandhi were alive. So I would like to tell you here one thing, that even for the singular person I have to write were, that is past plural form of verb. If Mahatma Gandhi were alive, okay, I am not saying Mahatma Gandhi was alive because that is unreal or that is impossible condition. So I can say if Mahatma Gandhi were alive. So this is the difference between these two type of situations. I hope you understood this. Okay, if I were a bird, again write I would fly um, all over the world, all over the world. Okay, so this is just totally an imagination or unreal situation. So this is called hypothetical conditional sentence. Okay, now let us get back here. So suppose can be used in both first conditional, that is real possibility sentence, and second conditional, less likely or hypothetical possibility sentences. And one more thing over here, if I say real condition or real possibility, I make it in all the three formulas, that is type 1 condition, type 2 condition and type 3, where I told you that First of all, we have the present tense, then the past tense, and then the past perfect tense. Okay, past perfect tense. And on the other hand, here we have future indefinite. Okay, this is present indefinite. And here we have um, second form of modal, modal 2 or modal second form. Okay, modal in second form plus verb 1. And here we have modal plus have plus verb third form. So here we have these type of conditions that we have made earlier in the if clause as well. So these three conditions can be followed. So the suppose can be used in type 1 as well as type 2 condition. Now suppose informal introduces a hypothetical scenario. Example, suppose you found a wallet. Now you can see over here that is past indefinite form. So suppose you found a wallet on the street, what would you do? So here he is just asking a question. The speaker is just asking a question that if you find a wallet over on the street, if you find a wallet on the street, what will you do for that? Okay. Now, supposing that slightly more formal also introduces a hypothetical scenario. For example, supposing that you got a free ticket to Paris, would you go? So this is just asking a question that if you get a free ticket to Paris, will you go over there? Okay. Now, uses of suppose or supposing that, introducing hypothetical situations. Now, suppose, commonly used in informal or casual speech. It introduces a hypothetical situation for consideration. So it is basically used in hypothetical situations for consideration. It means to consider them whether they can happen or not. Now, suppose you had $1 million. What would you do with it? Now, suppose you had $1 million. What would you do with it? Okay. The sentence asks the listener to imagine a situation where they have to have a large sum of money and consider their actions in that scenario. Okay. So there is a condition which they are giving to the listener, and they are asking him that what will he do in that scenario or in that case. Now, supposing that slightly more formal than suppose and often used to emphasize the hypothetical nature of the scenario. Supposing that you were elected as the president, what would you change? How would you change the education system? So it is only you are saying that this is making the hypothetical situation, because obviously if I'm saying that you were elected as the president, now maybe possible he's not the person or a politician of that field. So here this question can be asked in a hypothetical situation only. This invites the listener to consider their actions in a specific hypothetical role. Okay. Now let us move to the next one. Conditional sentence. These connectors are instrumental in forming conditional sentences, especially the first and the second conditionals. First conditional, real possibility. Suppose or supposing that can introduce a real possible future condition and its probable result. Suppose it rains tomorrow. Will you still go on your hike? So here it is just a condition which is type 1 condition. Okay, this is type 1 condition. So this is real based condition, that suppose it rains tomorrow, will you still go on your hike? Now, second conditional, that is unreal or improbable possibility. They are often used to discuss unlikely or imaginary situations. Example, supposing you met a famous celebrity, what would you ask them? Inviting speculation or discussion. Both connectors are great tools for sparking discussion or inviting speculation. They encourage people to think creatively or consider alternatives. For example, suppose you could travel back in time, where would you go? Okay, so this is just a pure imagination. So here we have used suppose you could travel back in time, where would you go? So these type of sentences can be used where two modals can be used or in both the clauses. Problem solving or decision making scenarios. In professional or academic settings, these connectors can introduce scenarios for problem solving exercises. Supposing that the budget is cut by 20%, how would you prioritize the projects? So this can be made with the help of supposing that. Storytelling or creative writing. In creative context, suppose and supposing that are used to set up scenes or plot developments. For example, suppose there was a city where everyone could fly. So this is just making a situation or an imagination for the people to consider. Okay, so suppose there was a city where everyone could fly. So they are making just an imagination for all the people. After a softener in questions or requests, they can soften the tone of a question or request, making it more polite or less direct. Suppose I asked you to lend me your car for a day, would that be okay? So it is just, you can say, when we make a request to someone and to make it more polite, we can use the word suppose just to make him imagine whether he can do this or not. Okay. Now, structure of suppose or supposing that. Basic structure: suppose or supposing that plus condition plus main clause. Okay, so whenever we have such words, after that we obviously have the condition in the immediate after clause, and after that we have the main clause, which the action in which depends on this condition. The condition introduced by suppose or supposing that is a hypothetical scenario or assumption. It means that is only a condition. The main clause contains the outcome or response. It means the potential outcome or the response or the result to that condition. It means the action which is described over here, it is always dependent on the hypothetical situation in the conditional sentence, given in the conditional sentence. Examples and structures. First conditional, real possibility. Structure is suppose or supposing that plus present simple plus future simple. As I told you that after this, in the first clause, here we have suppose or supposing that. Okay, in this we have a condition where here it is subject plus verb 1 or verb fifth form. Fifth form means s or es form, which is singular form of the main verb. Okay, so this is present indefinite, and after that here we have subject plus will or shall or any modal. Okay, will, shall or any modal in the first form. Okay, and after that we have verb 1, but this modal can be only of present tense. Okay, you can say will, shall, can, may. Okay, these type of modals. Now, suppose you win the game, what will you do? So this is like a question. Suppose you win the game is the present indefinite, whereas what will you do, this is future indefinite. Suppose you win the game is a condition, and what will you do is the main clause. Now, second conditional, unreal or improbable possibility. Suppose or supposing that, then past simple, that is past indefinite, that is subject plus verb second form, and after that in this clause we have the main clause, and in main clause what we have, subject plus modal in the second form, and after that the first form. And what kind of modal is this? It should be would, could, might. Okay, so the modal in the past form, and then the base verb. It means verb 1. Supposing that you knew the answer. Now, knew is past indefinite tense, or you can say verb second form. What would you do? So would, after that would you have you. Okay, or do is the verb 1 form. In this case, supposing that he knew the answer sets up a hypothetical scenario, and what would you do is the main clause. Now, inversion with suppose, more formal. Sometimes, especially in formal writing, the structure can be inverted with suppose. Structure is suppose plus subject plus past simple, would, could, might plus base verb. Example, suppose he were late. Would you wait for him? Suppose he were late is the conditional clause, and would you wait for him is the main clause. Use in questions. When used in questions, the structure remains similar, but the sentence ends with a question mark. For example, suppose you found a wallet, would you return it? So suppose you found a wallet, found is the verb second form, and would you return it? So this is the question that is asked. Negative form. The negative form can be used to introduce a condition that is the opposite of what is stated. Structure: suppose or supposing that plus subject plus do, does, did not, verb plus main clause. Example: suppose you didn't pass the exam. What would be your next step? Now, rules associated with suppose or supposing that: choice of verb or tense. Choice of verb tense: for realistic or likely scenarios, first conditional use the present simple tense after supposing that, and future simple tense in the main clause. As I told you about these three types of condition, in which the first conditional sentence or the conditional clause contains the present simple tense or simple present tense, so you can say present indefinite tense, and after that the immediate after clause, that is the main clause, contains the future indefinite tense. For example, suppose it rains, we will cancel the picnic. So here you can say suppose it rains. Rains means verb first form, and sorry, it is verb fifth form, that is verb s or es form. Okay, and here we will cancel the picnic, this is the future indefinite tense, or you can say simple future tense. Okay, where after the modal we have the verb first form. For hypothetical or less likely scenarios, second conditional, use the past simple tense after suppose or supposing that, and would plus base form of verb in the main clause. So supposing you find a wallet, what would you do? Okay, so here you can say found a wallet is the verb second form, so this is past indefinite tense, and this is what would you do, so this is pure imagination. Inversion in formal writing. In more formal writing, especially with suppose, you can invert the subject and verb. This is more common in literary or formal contexts. Suppose he were to arrive late, what would we do? Now, negative form. When forming negative conditions, and add not after suppose or supposing that. So when we have to make the negative conditions, or when we are to make the negative conditions, we can simply add not after the word suppose or supposing that. Suppose you did not pass the test, what would be your plan? Okay, so this is just an imagination, and this is just the potential outcome or the question that one asked another, that what will he do or not. Interrogative form. These connectors can be used to form questions. The structure follows the same rules as in the statements but ends with a question mark. Example: suppose you were offered a job in another country, would you accept it? So this is just ending the question mark, ending by the question mark. Conditional nature. Remember that suppose or supposing that introduces a condition that the rest of the sentence depends on. It is important that there is a logical connection between the condition and the result. Avoiding confusion with supposed to. Don't confuse suppose or supposing that with supposed to, which refers to expectations or obligations. Example of supposed to: you are supposed to submit the report by Friday. Contextual flexibility. These connectors are flexible and can be used in various contexts, from casual conversations to formal discussions and creative writing. Now let us see some examples of suppose or supposing that. First condition, that is real possibility. Suppose you win the lottery tonight, what will you do with the money? This sentence presents a realistic though unlikely scenario and asked about the consequent action. Supposing that the meeting finishes early, shall we go for dinner? Here a real possibility is presented and the plan is proposed based on the condition. Now second condition, that is hypothetical condition, in which I told you that we should only have past plural form of verb. So that is typically known as second conditional sentence. Suppose you were stranded on a deserted island, how would you survive? Stranded means when you struck on a deserted island. Stranded is basically when someone forcefully pressurizes the throat, or you can say when it's stranded the you can say stranded on the neck. So that means that he's just making someone to feel as if he would die. Okay, as if he will die or he would die. So that means a stranded. That action is known as a stranded. But here a stranded means the you can say when someone is stuck, okay, on a deserted island. This is a hypothetical scenario with an inquiry about survival strategies. Okay. Now he's saying that suppose you were stranded on a deserted island. It means there is a deserted island where is sand all around, no one is there. And if you were stranded there, it means if you go there and you stuck there, if you went there and stuck there, how would you survive? Supposing that you could travel anywhere in time, where would you go? This invites the listener to imagine a hypothetical ability and consider their choice. Questions and speculation. Suppose we contacted them first. Do you think they would be interested? Okay. The speaker is speculating about the outcome of a potential action. Supposing that you had the chance to redo one thing in your life, what would it be? Okay, so this is just a condition that he's presenting to him, that if he had a chance to redo one thing, it means whatever he has done in his life, he can again do that. Okay, redo means to again do that. This is reflective question, inviting someone to consider a hypothetical chance to get a change something in their past. Negative forms. Now suppose you didn't have to work, how would you spend your time? This scenario imagines a life without the need to work, asking about how one would use their free time. Supposing that the project does not receive approval, what is our backup plan? Here a potential negative outcome is considered, leading to a discussion about the alternative plans. Okay, now this was supposing that. I hope you understood all the situations that we have came across. Now we'll discuss another connector, that is in case. Now meaning of in case. In case is used to refer to taking action in preparation for a possible future situation or event. It is often used to express the idea of doing something as a precaution or to be prepared for a specific scenario that might occur. The focus with in case is on being ready for something that could happen rather than on the likelihood of the event itself. Okay. Now uses of in case. Expressing precaution or preparation. It is used to indicate that an action is done to prepare for a possible but uncertain future situation. For example, charge your phone in case we need to call someone later. Okay, so here we are just instructing someone that charge your phone in case we need to call someone later. Okay, so in case just used to show the imagination situation or imaginary situation that can occur in future but that is uncertain. So in case means it is making us view a situation that may occur, and if it happens, what we will do in that case. So in case just presents a situation that may occur in their you can say in their path. Giving advice or suggestions. Often used in advice or suggestions, emphasizing the importance of being prepared. It means if you are prepared for something, so whenever that situation occur, though maybe possible it will not occur in the entire life, but if it happens, what will we do? So that is just the prepared. It means we are prepared for a situation that may occur in future. Bring a jacket in case it gets cold. Now he's just advising, the speaker is advising another person and saying him to bring a jacket in case it gets cold. It means if it gets cold, he can wear the jacket. Okay. Now planning for contingencies. This is the vital importance of this in case situation, or if we are making the use of in case, it means we are presenting a condition that is contingent. It means it may or may not happen, but we should be prepared for that. For example, there are many countries who are pre-prepared for the warlike situations, who are Indians, we all are pre-prepared for any natural calamity that may occur. There are many places where the people, they they are pre-prepared for the situations like floods or other natural calamities. Now, useful in planning and strategy, especially when considering potential challenges or problems, because there are many areas where it is likely to happen, that where natural calamities are likely to happen, so they are well prepared before time. If you can see, there are many places in this world where the people are pre-prepared for any storm to come, for any natural calamity that may occur, so they are all pre-prepared. So that is in case. Keep some extra supplies in case of an emergency. So keep some extra supplies. Now, if something happens that it may occur, so some extra supplies people used to keep or store in case of an emergency. Now, creating conditional statements. While creating conditional sentences, in case sets up a scenario for which precautions are being taken. Structure: in case plus possible situation plus main clause or action taken. For example, I will take an umbrella in case it rains. Okay, so this is such a situation. I will take an umbrella. This is one situation. In case it rains, this is another situation. It means in case it rains, this is a situation, and this action, I will take an umbrella, this action depends on this. However, the person is taking the umbrella along with visor, just to be prepared or to be pre-prepared before it happens or before it is required. Now, use with past tenses. Can be used with past tenses to talk about precautions taken for the past events. She took some extra money in case the trip was more expensive than expected. Okay. Informal instructions or warnings. In case is often used in informal instructions or warnings to prepare someone for a possible situation. Text me your location in case you get lost. To justify inaction. It can be used to justify why a certain action was taken, usually as a precaution. I studied more chapters in case the exam covered more material. So this is just to show, in case actually shows the precaution that someone has taken for the occurrences or for the events that may occur. Now, expressions of caution. It is commonly used in expressions advising caution or care. Drive carefully in case the roads are slippery. Okay. Now, in this sentence, we can see that drive carefully in case the roads are slippery. So he's just giving him the warning. The speaker is giving the warning to the listener that, or you can say instructing him or suggesting him to drive carefully in case the roads are slippery. It means if the roads are slippery. Okay. Now, let us discuss the structure of in case. Now, what is the basic structure of it? First of all, we'll have in case, then condition, then main action. This is the simple, you can say simplest style of writing the conditional sentences. The condition introduced by in case is a possible future scenario, but as we have seen in the sentences as well, that in case can occur in the middle as well as in the beginning of the sentence, depending on the situation or the conditional clause that will occur only, you can say immediately after the in case. Okay, in case word, or you can say in the in case clause, only the condition can exist. The main action is what is done to prepare for or prevent the condition. Okay. Examples and structures. With present tense, a structure that is in case plus present simple or future or imperative. These three sentences can occur. Take an umbrella in case it rains. So this is imperative. Imperative means when we are giving an instruction. So take an umbrella. This is an instruction. In case it rains, this is present simple. So this is this type of a structure in which we have imperative, then in case, and then after it we have present simple tense. Okay, or you can say simple present tense, that is subject plus verb first or verb fifth form, depending on the subject. After that, with past tense, the structure will be in case plus past simple plus past simple. Okay. She took a map in case she got lost. Okay. So why did she take a map? Just because if she gets lost, she will use it. Okay. So this is past simple plus past simple tense. Negative forms. Negative forms can be used to indicate not doing something because of potential situation. Structure in case plus negative condition plus main action. For example, don't go outside in case it starts to storm. So this is imperative sentence, okay, which is showing the negativity. Okay, this is imperative. Now, don't go outside. So this is the situation or instruction in case it starts to storm. Okay. Use in complex sentences. Use in complex sentences. In case can be used in more complex sentences, often in the middle or at the end. Structure main action in case then condition. Example, I will keep my phone charged in case we need to contact each other. Questions and speculation. When used in questions, the structure remains similar, but the sentence ends with a question mark. Example, should I bring some snacks in case we get hungry? Okay, so we can also write this sentence. Praise by variations. Sometimes in case can be followed by of to talk about being prepared for a specific event or situation. Structure in case of plus noun or event plus main action. Example, have a plan in case of a power outage. Rules associated with in case. Preparation for future possibility. Use in case to indicate an action takes as a precaution for a possible future scenario. It is not about something that will definitely happen, but something that might happen. Now, whenever we write in case, we make sure that obviously the action which we are considering may be possible it will happen, but it is not necessary that it will happen. It might happen. Okay. Verb tense consistency. When in case is used, the verb tense in the clause that follows should be consistent with the time frame being referred to. It means we are talking about present, the sentence should be of present tense. If it is of future tense, it should be of future tense, and if it is showing the past time, it should be of past tense. For current or future possibilities, use the present tense after in case. For past scenarios, use the past tense. Now, in case of in case clause, we cannot have the future tenses, okay, because that is totally a condition, and conditional does not contain modals. Okay. Now, position in the sentence. In case can begin a sentence or be placed in the middle. The main action can come before or after the in case clause. Okay. In case it rains, bring an umbrella, or bring an umbrella in case it rains. So you can see in case in the beginning of the sentence as well in the middle of the sentence. So it can be either in the beginning of the sentence or in the middle of the sentence. Okay. But the condition that may occur, that should only be preceded, you can say that should always follow the phrase in case. Negative forms. In case can be used with negative constructions to indicate avoiding potential problems. Take your allergy medication in case you eat something you are allergic to. Okay, so take your allergy medication. It means before you eat anything that may be allergic, so before that take the precautions. It means take your allergy medication. Not equivalent to if. In case is different from if. If is used for condition that might cause something to happen, while in case is for taking precautions. Okay, so this is the basic difference and the vital difference between in case and if. That in case shows the precautions, whereas if shows the conditions. Okay. Compare if it rains, bring an umbrella. If rain happens, then bring an umbrella versus bring an umbrella in case it rains. Bring an umbrella as a precaution against the possibility of rain. Now, sixth one, uses of in case of. In case of is followed by a noun to talk about emergencies or a specific situation. Now, as I told you, if I use in case, that is a conjunction, but if I use in case of, that will be a preposition, and after preposition we can only either have noun or the noun phrase, but not the entire sentence structure. Okay, so in case of fire, exit the building immediately. So in case of fire is just a noun, or you can say the abstract noun. In case of fire, exit the building immediately. So this is the uh, main clause, and this is the precautionary clause. Avoiding redundancy, be careful not to use in case in a way that implies certainty, as it is meant for potential, not definite scenarios. Avoid saying something like in case it rains tomorrow and it will bring an umbrella. This is contradictory because in case implies uncertainty. Now, examples of in case. For precautionary measures, I always keep a spare tire in the car in case I get a flat. The sentence shows taking a precautionary measure for a potential future scenario. In planning advice, pack a raincoat in case if it rains during your trip. Now, as you can see that we have raincoats at our home, we have umbrellas at our home. It does not happen that rain is going on every time, or maybe possible we are not in a city where rain occurs frequently. So but still we keep such things with us, or maybe possible some of us keep them with us in our bags or purses. For example, we always keep the first aid box in our office premises, in schools. We always keep some medicines, we of you can say, which are basic medicine like paracetamol and so on, in our bags. We carry them always, just because it does not mean that we always use them or we use them frequently, but whenever that situation occurs, we should have those things with us. Okay, so here in case is used to suggest a precaution in planning for a trip. Okay, it does not mean when obviously one person studies throughout the year, it does not mean that he has exam tomorrow. Maybe possible his exams are on a day which is you can say in a fixed time in a month or not, but he has been preparing, or he prepares for it for many months or for many years, just because for that one day examination, because it is just you can say he is prepared for that, or in the situation it happens. Okay, here in case is used to suggest a precaution in planning for a trip. In everyday conversations, bring some snacks in case the meeting runs long. So this is a common usage in daily life, preparing for the possibility of an extended meeting. Now, with negative constructions, leave early in case the traffic is bad. The action leaving early is taken to prevent the negative situation, getting stuck in traffic. In formal instructions, please save your work frequently in case there is a system error. Okay, in a formal or workplace setting, in case is used for a precaution against potential computer issues. For safety and emergency situations, know the emergency exists in case of a fire. This is an example of in case used for safety procedures. In speculative scenarios, I'm studying more tonight, just in the case the exam includes questions from the last chapter. Here the student is preparing for the possibility of certain exam content. Okay. In conditional questions, should I bring an umbrella in case it starts to rain? In case is used in a question from form to inquire about taking a precaution. Now, here we have ended with the connector in case or in case of. Now we'll discuss another connector, that is so long as. Now it means on the condition that. Meaning of so long as: on the condition that. So long as, used as a conditional connector, implies a condition or a stipulation that must be met for something else to occur or to be true. It sets a specific requirement or condition that is necessary for the following part of the sentence to be applicable. Okay, so long as means you can say it makes a condition that this can be the specific requirement of future. So that condition makes the specific requirement of something that may occur. Now, in essence, so long as introduces a prerequisite for the main action or stated described in the sentence. Use of so long as on the condition that. It means on the condition that. setting conditions or requirements. It is used to specify that an action or situation is contingent upon another condition being met. Example, you can use the lab so long as you follow the safety guidelines. Okay, so long as means on the condition that. In agreements or permissions, commonly used in contexts where permission is granted or an agreement is made conditional upon certain terms. You can stay out late so long as you call me to let me know where you are. Okay. Highlighting stipulations, it emphasizes specific stipulations that must be adhered to. The project will be successful so long as everyone meets their deadlines. Now, if you see this so long as also shows the time condition. The project will be successful. Here, the speaker is saying the project will be successful so long as everyone meets their deadlines. It means till the time everyone meets their deadlines. In warnings or cautions, used to give warnings or cautions indicating that avoiding negative outcomes is conditional upon certain actions. The plants will thrive so long as you water them regularly. It means the plants will survive till that time you water them regularly. Okay, it means if you water them regularly, they will thrive for a long time. In negotiations or compromises, it can be used in negotiation or compromise situations, indicating willingness to agree provided certain conditions are met. I'm willing to lower the price so long as you agree to buy in bulk. Okay, it means if the listener he agrees to buy in bulk, he is willing to lower the price. The speaker is willing to lower the price. In instructional or advisory context, useful in instructions or advice where specific conditions need to be followed for desired outcomes. You will do well in your exams so long as you study hard and prepare well. Okay, so if you do this, so till that time he can prepare, he will do well or he will perform well in his exams. To indicate duration or continuity, this is the main function of so long as. Sometimes it implies a sense of duration, meaning that the condition should continue to be met over time. You can enjoy good health so long as you maintain a balanced diet and regular exercise. Now, structure of so long as on the condition that, basic structure so long as or on the condition that plus condition plus main action. The condition introduced by so long as or on the condition that is prerequisite for the main action or situation in the sentence. Examples and structure. General use structure so long as on the condition that present simple plus present or simple future. So long as you study regularly, you will pass the exam. Here, so long as you study regularly is the condition and you will pass the exam is the main action. Negative forms. Negative forms can be used to indicate that the main action will not happen unless the condition is met. Structure so long as or on the condition that plus subject plus do or does not verb plus main action. Example, so long as you do not miss any classes, you will understand the course material. Complex sentences so long as can be used in complex sentences, often placed at the beginning or in the middle. Structure main action plus so long as or on the condition that plus condition. You can borrow the car so long as you return it by 7 p.m. Okay, so you can borrow the car. This is one situation. So long as you return it by 7 p.m. It means if the listener he can return it by 7 p.m. It means he is giving the time deadline. In questions, when used in questions, the structure remains similar, but the sentence ends with a question mark. So the structure will remain similar, but it will end with the question mark. Can I go to the party? So long as I'm back by midnight. So he's giving the condition that he will come back by the midnight. It means by 12 o'clock. Okay, by 12 a.m. Okay, so midnight means 12 a.m. It means 12 when the clock is struck 12 at night, or you can say 00 hours. Okay, so this time is called midnight. So with past tense, although less common, so long as can be used with the past tenses when referring to conditions in the past. So long as or on the condition that past simple plus past simple main action. So long as you had completed your work, you were allowed to leave early. rules associated with so long as or on the condition that. Basically, it happens only it is used only for the present and the future actions, but rarely it can be used in past tense as well. Conditional relationship use so long as to establish a condition that must be met for the main part of the sentence to be true or valid. It sets a clear conditional relationship between two parts of a sentence. Appropriate verb tense. The verb tense following so long as should be consistent with the time frame of the condition being referred to. For current or future conditions, use the present tense. For past conditions, use the past tense. Position in the sentence. So long as can start a sentence or be placed in the middle. As we have done in all the connectors, we have either begin the sentence with the connector or we took the connectors in the middle of the sentence. The main action can precede or follow the so long as clause. Okay. So long as you study hard, you will do well in exams. You will do well in exams so long as you study hard. So you can see this phrase so long as in the beginning or in the middle of the sentence. The meaning of the sentence is same and these both of the sentences are same, but the positions are interchanged accordingly when we are using this same phrase in two different positions. Used in different contexts, this connector is versatile and can be used in various contexts such as giving advice, setting terms and agreements, or stating conditions for a particular outcome. Or you can say when we are showing the time frame. Difference of if and provided that. While similar to if and provided that, so long as often implies a continuing condition over time and can sometimes have a slightly more emphatic tone. Emphatic tone means emphasizing on the action, or you can say making it more you can say giving it more emphasis. It is more specific in setting a condition that must be ongoing for the main clause or to remain true. Negative forms. So long as can be used in negative forms to specify the main action is contingent upon avoiding a certain condition. You can stay here so long as you do not cause any trouble. It means the person, the speaker, he's saying to the listener that he can be there, he can stay with them unless he makes trouble. Okay, or till the time he makes trouble. Now, examples of so long as on the condition that in everyday situations, you can borrow my laptop so long as you return it by tomorrow. The sentence sets the condition of returning the laptop by a specific time for the borrowing to occur. Informal agreements or contracts. The tenant can use the garden on the condition that they maintain it properly. Here, the use of the garden is conditional upon its maintenance. In giving advice, you should be fine to travel so long as you have all your documents in order. The advice suggests that successful travel is contingent on having the necessary documents. In warnings, you can play outside so long as you stay close to the house. This example sets a boundary condition for safety while playing outside. In negotiations or compromises, I agree to the terms on the condition that the payment is made upfront. In negotiations, the agreement is conditional upon the fulfillment upon a specific term. In workplace or professional settings, employees can work from home as long as their productivity levels remain high. This sentence establishes a condition for remote work based on maintaining productivity. Okay, this sentence establishes a condition for remote work based on maintaining productivity. In academic or educational contexts, students are allowed to use the lab so long as they are supervised by a teacher. Access to the lab is conditional upon the teacher's supervision. In conditional questions, can I extend my vacation so long as all my projects are completed on time? This question proposes extending vacation time based on the condition of timely project completion. So these were all connectors that we have discussed in this session. I hope this much is clear to you all. So in the next session, we will discuss some more connectors, and if you want to learn more connectors, stay connected with me. Thanks to you.